Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome to Manor Lords. So this is a city building settlement management game set in the Middle Ages. So I suppose it would be more accurate to call it a village building or town building game. And what's interesting is that it does have some pretty in-depth combat mechanics that remind of the Total War, the real-time combat of Total War. For example, the morale of your troops is affected by a variety of different factors, such as being surrounded by trees or being up on a hill and fighting down. And so mechanics that you generally don't see in a city building type of game. However, should make one thing clear, this is not Total War. The combat is not really a focus of the game. It's more about the city building and the management of your settlement. And the combat is more like a side thing, just something that you do occasionally. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is an early access game, so it's definitely not complete. There's going to be some things that might not work properly. There could be some bugs, some balance issues, and there will be missing content as well. But this game went into early access, launched to the public today. As of me recording this, I think this will be out on Saturday. So it launched on Friday. The full price is $39.99. However, if you purchase the game before May 10th, you can get it for $10 off, 25% off. So that's $29.99. So if this is something you're interested in and you're okay with purchasing an early access game, now would probably be the best time to do it. I don't know if the game will get more expensive when it fully releases, because they'll be adding more content throughout the early access period. The final thing I'd like to mention before we get started is I don't have a lot of experience with the game. I've played about 9 hours. I did have access to this game, an earlier version of it, for a little while, but unfortunately I've been dealing with some stuff here at home, so didn't get to play that much. And so with only 9 hours under my belt, I'm definitely not an expert in the game. So keep that in mind that, I'll be learning some stuff as we play, but I do feel like I played enough to have a good grasp of the mechanics. But with any kind of city building game, you're going to have more efficient ways of doing things that you'll learn as you play more and more. And so this channel here, with my lack of experience in the game, probably not going to be the best place to learn those more advanced strategies. There are currently 9 portraits available. It's really not important. It's just cosmetic. You can play as your character in the game, kind of walk around your settlements, but the portrait does not determine what that character will look like. So this really doesn't matter that much, but you do have a little bit of variety here. I feel like this character here definitely fits me. He's got a beard, not as long as mine, though he does have that accurate gray. A little bit of gray going into his beard, as I do. He is bald as well. I don't have the scar. It's not quite as big as me, I feel, either, but overall, it's pretty accurate. The game does allow you to create your own coat of arms. This is the one that I've created that we're going to be using for this playthrough, and I can't adjust it once I've saved it and loaded it. So we'll have to just start with a new one here, just to show how these mechanics work, so let you know what you have access to. So these are the kind of starting look here. I'll give you a variety of different fields to make adjustments to. So let's say we wanted to go with, I don't know, let's do this one here. So as stated in the tooltip, this option will allow you to combine 2 coat of arms by cutting them in the middle. So if you wanted to do that, obviously this would not be a good choice for using this mechanic. But yeah, we can adjust each field. So if we looked at field A, so we can change the background that's right here. And then we can also change the coloring there of those 2 background colors. And then we can also change the symbol. Say I wanted to put this flower here. Maybe make it a red one. I don't know, maybe too much green there. I don't know, a little bit of blue there. And then you can add multiple instances of it. So you can have multiple flowers there. Change the scale of it, make it bigger or smaller. There's also this here, the tiling, changing it up. I think honestly it'd look a little bit better if you spread it out that way. And you can also change the angle to it. So just a lot of different options available to really make something yours. And then you get to do it with each of the fields here. So we can change the emblem and the background here. I just wanted to show you guys all the different functionality that you have here. But we've already created the one we're going to be using. That's this one. I believe these are bears. They look like bears. and that's why I selected them. And then we also got a castle and a sword here. So I think this is pretty fitting. It's got my favorite colors of black and blue here. Yeah, I think it looks nice. And so we're going to work with that one. For the game setup, there are some templates that you can use. Just change up the settings here, or you can just customize them. Customize the difficulty. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to customize this, though it's mostly going to be the default settings for the restoring the peace. We're just going to make a few adjustments. And I also want to show you guys what some of the options here are. Like for your angle, eliminate all the other lords by claiming their territory. You can do conquest, requiring you to claim all the regions. Have endless play. The growth, which is not a military focused one, just reach a large town settlement in order to win. We'll just leave it on the default one, the domination. It says all other lords, but there's actually only one other lord in the early access version, and it's not a full AI opponent. As you'll see here, it states work in progress. This means that the AI is not fully on the map with you. They're not building their settlements. They'll just have their troops come from off map, and then they'll claim some of the regions. And so that's the off-map adversary. And you can make them absent, so you don't even have to worry about a rival lord. We'll leave them present, so you can see how that works. You can change the aggressiveness, so whether they claim your territory or not, and when they do it. So we'll just leave it on the balance setting. Again, these are all going to be default. Same thing with the raider frequency. We're going to leave that on medium, but you could adjust that if you wanted to. The first thing that we will be adjusting is the raider free years. So this is how many years you get before the raids start happening. We're going to give ourselves an extra year. I found that with the 2 years, it just wasn't quite enough time to feel like I was fully ready. Of course, I do have more experience with the game, so I know what to expect and what you need to do to be ready. So maybe 2 years at this point would be better. But I just like not having to worry about it. Just give us an extra year. The second and last thing that we're going to be adjusting is the initial bandit camps. We're going to turn that to none. They're going to form regardless. But the bandit camps, what they do, rather than raiding you, which is what the raiders do, you know, they send troops that attack your village. The bandit camps instead just steal from you, and there's really no way to stop it. You can go attack the bandit camps and destroy them, which does get you some very nice resources, money, benefits. You get a few choices on what you want to do with those, but destroying them is just a temporary measure. Eventually they will reform up to the number that you set here. So this is how many bandit camps you can have. So you can set up to 5, or you can have where there's none, or the default setting where there's 3. And so even if we set the initial bandit camps to none, they will eventually go up to this number here. And what I like about setting it to none is that you don't have to worry about them stealing your stuff immediately. It's pretty quick once they form the first one. It just gives you a little bit of respite. And the more bandit camps you have, the more stuff that gets stolen from you. And so it just kind of makes the beginning a slightly easier. They don't steal a lot of stuff, but I just find it a little bit helpful. So those are the two things we're going to adjust. Everything else is going to be on standard. Just kind of hover over some of these so you can see what they are. So the rest of these settings will be left on their default. So let's go ahead and jump on into it, let it create our map. Now I generally don't play early access games. Not a big fan of not having the full content once I start playing it. I suppose you could make the argument that Paradox games are kind of early access, since the game that you'll have years after you purchase it is quite a bit different than what you have when you first get it. Alright, so this is our region that we have spawned in. There are quite a difference between the quality of regions. Some are far better than others. As far as space goes, this is a pretty large region, and this is not bad at all. But the other thing you need to consider is the resources. So if you see the crown over it, then that tells you that it is a rich deposit, so a little bit better than it normally would be. So we have the wild animals, the clay deposit, the iron, and the berries over here. So I don't know if stone would be the thing I'd prefer to have as the rich deposits, but overall this isn't bad, guys. What really matters is our fertility. Do we have good fertility? And we have all these tutorials popping up. I suppose I'll leave the tutorials on so you guys can pause the game and read it if you want to. But yeah, what we need to look at here is the fertility. So the emmer fertility, this is for wheat, and it looks like we have very good fertility here, which is not always the case. Sometimes You know, if you gotten in this region here, for instance, you'd have some terrible fertility. Then there's the flax. So this will allow us to make clothes. And it's hard to see with the forest here, but it looks like we do have some pretty decent locations. Not right here in this clearing, but in other locations. And then the barley, also pretty important for the ale. And it looks like we do have some locations for the barley as well. Honestly, this is a solid starting location. Again, I would prefer we had a different rich deposit. And some locations have 2 rich deposits, which we do not have that. See, one over here has iron deposit and clay that are both rich. We only have the 1 rich deposit. But yeah, really not bad considering the fertility. We have fertility for every type of crop. And everything's pretty well placed too. Berries are a little far away. But not bad if we were to build right here. Over here where we're currently set up, I think is a little far away. We're going to move over to this location here. I think this is a little bit better, going off of this road. And so this will be the prime area that we construct our settlement. That makes sure that we're close to the wild animals for meat and leather, close to the stone and the iron, and then the berries are a bit far away. We'll probably still make use of those. Maybe we'll rely a bit more on the wild animals at first. So what we start with is these homeless people tents. So these form for anybody who doesn't have a house to live in. And so those will disappear once we solve that issue. Here's the hitching post. This will need to be moved. For right now, we'll keep it where it is until we know where we want to place it. But that is for our ox. You see it's right here. So these are the supplies we start with. 20 bread to keep our people fed until we're able to get some food production going. We also have some firewood since your people do require firewood. We have 20 stone and we have 10 tools. Game does have an autosave. And then we start with 8 timber. So all of our supplies being up here will be an issue since we're going to be moving everything down here. And it does take them time to move all those supplies, particularly the logs, because the logs need to be dragged by your ox. And so it does take a little while. Alright, so we're going to build off of this road here. Roads can look fairly natural because of the ability to turn them and adjust the curvature. And so I think that's pretty cool. I like having it about right here for my curvature. And what we'll probably want to do is come down like so. And do forgive my road building. Hopefully it doesn't drive people crazy. I don't play a lot of city building games. I really enjoy the genre. I just don't play them as often as I do, say, grand strategy games, turn-based strategy, 4X games. So we need to name our settlement, and we're going to name it New Roma with a name of Praetorian HiJynx for a channel. I always got to integrate that Rome stuff. So we're going to call it New Roma here, and let's go ahead and start with some construction. So we need to get a logging camp so we can start getting more logs, because we're going to need a lot more timber. And we're just going to put it right here so it's easy access to all these forests. You also have these ones here, but I don't know if I want to take those ones out because the animals are there. I like having my animals inside the forest just because it makes sense. We might need to eventually move this over to here. I believe this building is one of the ones that you can relocate for free. Though I don't do that often. Yeah, I feel like they got enough trees right around this area. Plus we can plant trees if we want to. So we're just going to put it here for now. And we'll take out those... let's put it right here. We'll take out these trees first. We'll be able to set up where we want them to work. So now we're going to get a hunting camp, because this will satisfy both food and clothing. And we're going to put it right here so we're not building off the main road. The king could be upset. That will uproot those 1 trees, but that's fine. We got plenty of trees, guys. So now we got that done. I think we can go and let it play. So these guys can start working, because it's going to take a while to get all of this down here. And then do we want to go and start setting up our houses? Yeah, probably want to do that next. Let me just see if there's anything else we want to work on. I also want to show you guys all the different buildings that are available. Since we do have a plane, so our people are working at the moment. You got to see how the construction looks. It's pretty cool. I really like the game, guys. Again, I'm not a fan of early access. So I'm a little surprised just how much I've been enjoying this game so far. We do need to move that hitching post somewhere. We get our houses set up first. A well. We need to get a well started as well. I didn't even bother to look at where the water was. Okay, so as our town expands this way, we'll make use of these locations. But for now, we're just going to have to build this right here. Now you can turn on that setting so you don't have to worry about the underground well water, and you can place the wells anywhere. But we do have that turned on, so it's important. Here's our marketplaces. I just want to show all the different options that are currently in early access. Now, there is a lot more to the buildings than what you see here because of the way the housing works. The artisans will build their shops inside their houses once you designate for them to do that. So yeah, they will go across the roads here, so this is going to take them a while. Again, changing the location for your settlement can be a little bit of a rough process. But I find it to be necessary and worth it in the long run. But you do waste a lot of time in the beginning of the game, so it is best when you don't have to do that. If we had liked this area a little bit better, would have been better. Alright, so we do have our first building constructed. This is our hunting camp. We've already assigned a family to that hunting camp, and so they're going to start coming over here and taking out the wild animals. So this is just from that other lord, which controls these two locations here, and he'll start expanding probably pretty rapidly. They expand way faster than I do. And so they end up getting over control of a lot of territory. Yeah, you can see that they're actually dragging, the ox is dragging the wood, the timber. And so I think that's pretty cool. Just all the details, the attention to detail in this game. But you'll see the logging camp get slowly constructed as well. Also looks pretty cool. Forgive me as I nerd out on this kind of stuff. I just think it's really awesome. And the fact that this game was made by one guy. Now, it was over the course of many, many, many years. But yeah, it's just incredibly impressive. But yeah, look at this guy. He'll actually kill the deer. You'll see him go out there and hunt. We didn't see that ourselves. But if we had followed him, we would have seen him go out there and hunt, kill the deer. And then he'll drag it over here, as this guy is doing right now. As his partner's over here doing. Because the whole family will work in the hunting camp. And then he's actually cutting it up. Bleeding it and cutting it up, and he'll soon need a market. We'll need to get that set up. We need to get to work, guys. We're over here being all impressed with all this. We got stuff we gotta do. We need to go ahead and get some houses going. So these are the houses. They're burgage. And so it shows us how this works. So a couple things to keep in mind when it comes to these. You generally want to make them pretty large. I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. But you see this being constructed. Each piece of wood being put in place. People over hammering on it. Again, just looks really cool. I'm going to pause this while we do this so we can actually take a look at this. Because we do need to get this stuff started here. So I think we're going to build our first housing right here. So just across from this. We're going to want to mark it. I don't know, we'll probably put it over here, I suppose. And we want this to be fairly large here. This is going to be multiple houses. And so let me just show you, for example, what this will look like. We did this really small. We don't have enough wood for all this, so that's something to keep in mind. We're very short, actually, so we're going to have to make a much smaller one. But just to show you guys what I mean. So when we do it this way, it's just 5 plots, right? So 5 houses. But if we did it a bit wider here, you'll see that there's an additional icon there. That is like the backyard area, and that is necessary in order to add on to the house and basically make them into a sort of artisan. And if you want to do that, you have to make sure it's that large. In addition, if you make them like really weird or extra large, then you can actually put 2 houses in one of those lots. We'll only be able to build 2 for right now, but we do want to get this started. Maybe get this a little bit longer here. Might want to adjust the camera as well. Make sure that we get this somewhat straight. Try and make it look decent. Try my best, guys. See, the way that one looked. Yeah, that's a good example. So this is two separate houses on the same lot. And so you might want to do that to kind of squeeze them in. But it's not really the most beneficial thing to do in our case, because that means that you can only turn it into one artisan location. And so we don't want to do it like that. So that means we need to get it a bit longer here. Something like, again, we want there to be two separate plots there. So something like that. Yeah, it looks good for now. Okay, so that's the first two. That's all we had the timber for. And so I'll work on that as soon as they're done with this, which I did want to watch them constructing this. Kind of just show the construction here of the logging camp. And they're standing around because they're waiting for some more timber, which again has to be brought from way over there. So it'll be really nice once we get this set up here. And because the hunting camp wants to sell their meat, they do want the marketplace to be set up. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start working on that. So we're going to have this road go like so. It's kind of for the future. Since our village is going to be this whole area here. And probably even down this way as well. So since this is kind of like in the center, we're going to set the market up right on the corner, like a little corner market. Like the houses, you do set up the area for the markets, and it'll tell you how many stalls you're going to get out of that. This would probably be a little large. We'll try and make it look good. So if we went like that, that would only be 9 market stalls, which is not bad for your first market here. I want it to be slightly larger though. So let's just increase this size by a little bit. So like right up to there, that might be a little larger than I want though. That's fine. Yeah, 15 stall locations, that'll work. So that'll be our market. You can read about the markets here. Because location does matter for the market. The houses that are closest to it are going to get their needs satisfied first. And so that's all you need to do for the markets. They don't actually construct anything. Instead, once somebody has the goods to make a stall, they'll go ahead and set that up in your marketplace. And so you have little stalls here. And the family that's selling stuff will be the one who owns the stall. So you can see that now. This family owns a market stall. And that's what that guy, Peter, is doing right now. He's setting up the market stall to sell their meat. And so now he's got that constructed. And they'll be able to sell meat from this location. Obviously, they don't have any meat there yet. They do have to move it. Everything has to be moved by hand. We still are waiting for that logging camp to be constructed. And we'll need to start making use of the hides here, or else they'll fill up their storage. So we need to get a tannery. So let's go ahead and work on that next. There's so many things we do need to get here. I like having the tannery close to, pretty much anything close to the location where it's getting its resources from. So we're going to put that right here. Just in this location, but obviously we don't have the resources yet. We don't have the timber. We're still waiting on this to be constructed. And that's really the problem. We should make sure this is being prioritized. Highest priority. But the big issue is how long it takes to move the supplies here. And so we're just waiting for them to get this over here. I don't know where they're currently at. Taking their sweet time, I'm sure. There they are. It's a long distance from to go. So again, we're going to be set back because this is so far. But I just didn't want to build here, guys. But yeah, it might not be the most advisable thing. I'm not sure. I feel like in the long run it's better to be happy with the location that you're in. We can't go and relocate this. And so we'll do that. Once I get the tannery built, we'll probably build it somewhere around there. It doesn't really matter because we're using the ox currently. Alright, so the logging camp is constructed. So we need to really start focusing on getting some timber over here specifically, so we don't have to use the timber that's here. They're still gonna have to come over here for all the supplies though. And we're going to want to have more local supply areas as well. So let's go to the logistics tab. We're going to want a granary, and we're also going to want a storehouse. So the storehouse, see where we want to put that. We don't even have enough goods, but we're probably going to want it, I don't know, right here. Yeah, because we want to put more houses here. And yeah, I just can't do anything because we don't have the lumber available. So we need to make sure that these guys are working hard and getting this done. We got 2 families assigned. I think that's pretty good. You do need to have unassigned families because they're the ones who do your construction for you. So without the unassigned families, nothing gets done. It does have a night and day cycle as well. I don't know if you can turn it off. Probably. I assume you can. But yeah, we already have the problem here because we don't have that tannery yet. So that's an issue. We do have some timber. Should probably focus on that before we do anything else with the timber. So let's put that here, so they can get that constructed. And then we're gonna need to work on firewood and planks. Everything's getting soaked as well. The rain does affect it. That's why we want to get the get those logistic buildings. That's just one reason to get that. And so that we don't have to worry about our goods getting wet. So we want the storehouse and we want the granary. The granary will require that stone we have. But luckily we have plenty of stone here. So better get that taken care of. So we'll probably use 10 of our 20 stone to get that. And we'll also get the storehouse here as well. This is constructed. Let's go and get somebody working on it. And they'll build a stall here to sell their clothing. We're never going to get approval up as long as people are homeless. So that also needs to be a priority. But you see there's now a clothing stall. And so they'll start selling their clothing here. So yeah, she's working the clothing stall. Looks like they're getting the meat set up there. Yeah, just the attention to detail here. I love it. Alright, so let's go and get some more houses constructed here. We should be able to do a few more. Again, we're going to build them all the way out to here. And then this is the way we'll do it the other way. So we can put them at the same level as this house here. And something like that. What you can do, you see, they can change the size of it however you want, and that results in some interesting looks. That's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Well, some people would disagree with that. Some people will be in the comments, it has to be perfect. So we need one more house, and we're gonna put that on this side. So all of our starting families will live in the same place, just right here. That's kind of the beginning neighborhood, but eventually we'll have neighborhoods elsewhere. You have a road come back this way, and you can have the houses back to back or whatever. I don't know how exactly we're going to do it yet, but for now, the next house is just going to be right here. There we go. So that'll get houses for all our people. You know what? We should go ahead and build one more so that somebody can move in once we get our approval high enough. Because once we get approval up to 50%, more people will be willing to move in here. And once we get the homelessness situation sorted out, that should be easy to do. Get up to 50%. Because we're satisfying most of their needs here already with the clothing and the food. If we took a look at their houses, yeah, we've got, I mean, they haven't really gone to these stalls yet, but we do have the stalls available. Really, it's just the church is all we need. Oh, you know what? We don't have the fuel stall yet. We'll be needing to take care of that as well. But we don't have any people. With the tannery and the hunting camp and 2 in the logging camp currently, do we have to have 2 there? Yeah, we still have a pretty high need for the timber. Alright, so we're going to put back on to the fast forward. We are not going to get farms here in the first year. I found it too difficult to get the farm set up in your first year. It's not impossible, you can do it. but you're just not able to grow as much. Because building the farm doesn't take much, but you gotta get it plowed. And then you gotta get the crops actually planted. And then they'll grow over the summer. And so you want to have that done by the summer. And that requires you to take one of your few families that you have and have them focus entirely on the farming. And so it feels too limiting in the beginning to have one family focusing on the farm. When you don't really have to do that this early. You have other ways to get food, other ways to get clothing. And the only thing you really need it is for the barley. Which you can see our houses at level 1 do not actually need any ale. It's not a problem yet. It's not until we level them up. So level 2, which we can't even do until we have all these satisfied. So I really feel like you should focus on these. Like getting the church set up, all that kind of good stuff. Getting some more families as well. And so we'll do farming in the second year. That's the plan. And we'll already have the crops set up and everything, so that we can start that as soon as winter's over, basically. Now we are in summer already. Hover over this so you guys can read that. All about the seasons here. So yeah, we are already in summer. You can see the time does go by fast. And we're still working on just getting houses. This is a really slow start, guys, because of moving all the stuff from over here. It's taking a long time, unfortunately, but there's only one timber left over there. It's just the rest of the supplies that are currently over there. But once we have all these houses constructed, hopefully we can get another resident to move in, another family. Because we're going to need them. But for right now, if we got the timber good to go, which we do, then we can go ahead and use that extra residence that's over here. And we're going to have them create... Well, we need both the firewood and the planks. We won't have the people to do both. Well, if we want to level these up, we should probably do the firewood. And so let's do that first. Or what we could do is do both. Yeah, we'll do both, and then we won't assign anybody there yet. So like that. So these guys are next to the logging camp, since they'll be using that timber. While the Woodcutter's Lodge will get their own timber and turn it into firewood. So yeah, they'll work on all that. Get the houses done that we already assigned them to. And again, we'll get this approval up once we've satisfied the homeless problem, which this building here is the last one we need to ensure that nobody else is homeless. Yeah, I just really like watching people do their work. Like the tanner, you could actually see her out there working. We did just get to the small village now. And every time you go up to the next settlement level, you get access to another development bonus. So considering that you only get one of these with each settlement level, you're not going to be able to get them all. And so we do need to be quite choosy on which would be the best for us. And I really like the fertilization one here, allowing you to use a fallow field as a pasture to restore the lost fertility, which is a mechanic in the game. And so I think that that would be our best option. Can also get the honey, and then we wouldn't have to worry about berries at all. But I think we will go ahead and get somebody doing berries once we have an extra population. We need a church though before it's absolutely necessary to get the berries. I think we're going to do the heavy plow so that we can get to that. The heavy plow is helpful too if you got the extra oxen. Generally I don't though in the early game. So I don't know if we'll use it or not. These are the policies. A lot of these are not available in early access, and the ones that are available, they're not great. Because in this case you decrease approval with the strict fasting. This will help if you're short on food. But yeah, you're gonna get a hit to approval. The hunting grounds is great because you get more from the wild animals, but you'll get less yield from the crops. So you got to really be focusing on the hunting for that to be worth it. And there's nothing here. So again, very early access, as you can see. Just here with the development, there's tons of these. that aren't available yet. All the ones with a lock on it are not available in early access. So that's where you'll notice it the most. You know, where they're missing stuff. So yeah, we want to go ahead and move the hitching post, because I'd like to order another oxen. But we'll move this first, relocate this over to here. It's not much you could fit in this space anyways. So we're gonna put it right there. And so we'll get that moved. And then we'll order another oxen to help us move the wood a little bit faster, the timber. So yeah, they're taking care of all this here, but you know what? Let's go ahead and change the location where they're working to get this these trees over here taken care of first. So just take care of that. It's not much. Won't take very long. Because as of right now, they're taking care of all this area here. Alright, so in order to get to the next level, we have to have 2 level 2 burgage plots. And so in order to upgrade these, we have to satisfy all their needs, which we are not satisfying the fuel, the church, or the second food. Which I need to get the berries going. We don't have the free people. Because basically, as soon as we're done with this here, we're going to assign the one worker that's currently in this area. And we are doing pretty good in timber. I suppose we could do that. We'll also need to put somebody on the saw pit eventually. It's not a priority yet, but when we want to get the church here, so that's right here, we'll need it for that. And so if we ever want to get the church done, we will have to put somebody in there. I'm just waiting for somebody else to come, but we haven't gotten up to the 50% yet, so that's what the issue is. We did just finish with the satisfying the homeless issue, so berry deposit is very far. I don't know, guys. That is like really far away. But yeah, there's no other secondary food until we get farming going, so I guess we're going to have to set this up. Okay, so we're going to get the road going this way, since I already know I want it to go out here. And then we might not keep this building forever. You do need the berries for the dyes. I don't know if we'll need those. So right now we're just going to put it here just to get berries, to get ourselves the secondary food without having to farm. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the highest priority as well, so that gets constructed before anything else, though there might not be anything else they're really working on besides this. But yeah, we'll get that finished up. And then we can go ahead and take out this person, just to have 2 unassigned, and then it'll get constructed a little bit faster. Because the number of people you have constructing, obviously, will speed that up. So we can try and get this berry station here, the forager hut, done, in order to actually get some berries before it's too late. Because you cannot get berries in the winter, obviously. That is a seasonal good. So we'll definitely want to make sure we get that established. And then we want to get the church, and we have to get somebody into the saw pit. But I think our priority should be firewood, because we have a need for that right now. Alright, so the forager hut is constructed. Let's go and put somebody in there now. And so they'll start foraging berries. Again, they gotta walk really far. So it's gonna take them some time. Now we're working on the woodcutter's lodge. And we're gonna need to assign somebody to that. We do have a lot of timber, so we could take somebody out of here for now, just to work on construction, so we can get that hitching post done. You don't have to have somebody unassigned if you aren't constructing anything. I think they do use your oxen, though. I think they might help with that if you don't have anybody assigned to the hitching post, because you can't assign a person to that. Well, we have the approval up to 52% now, and so we're just waiting for somebody else to move into that house that we constructed, because we need another person, and there's no reason at this point why there won't be somebody coming now, except for the approval dropping below 50% again. Although I'm not sure what the issue is there. Yeah, satisfying the firewood here. That makes sure everything is secured except for the church. So we gotta get the church going. Here is where we take advantage of that extra land. So at this moment, we only have 3 things available. A vegetable garden allows you to grow vegetables. That does require plowing and harvesting. You can also get chickens for eggs, which I love eggs. I eat a lot of eggs every day. And so yeah, we gotta get some chickens. So that could also satisfy your second need for food if we didn't want to do the berries. I suppose that'd be an option. But I kind of wanted to save these plots for like the blacksmiths and stuff. And just our money as well, because it requires regional wealth. And then there's the goat shed. That's currently available too, which would give you a passive yield of hides. So the hitching post has now been built. I ordered another oxen, and we still need to upgrade to a small stable. But it takes a little while to get that other oxen here. Did require a bit of regional wealth. I think it's worth it. And so if we don't have anything else constructing, we can now assign somebody to the saw pit to start actually producing some of those planks out of the timber that we currently have. But yeah, we need another family, guys. And we also need to get some additional houses constructed. So we might want to do is have the road going up this way. Yeah, maybe put the church here. I don't know if we'll be able to do that in time though. Is there anywhere else where we can get like some houses going just to have some extras? Maybe I could put one here. Yeah, I suppose you could put one right there. I don't know what else we'd put there. Just because I want to have another plot just so that we can try and get 2 families in. I know we're still waiting for somebody to move into the one open house. We'll just look into the future here. Let's do it like this. Maybe that would be good size. That actually allows you to get the extra living space in there. Maybe make this slightly bigger just to see. This would be like the really big corner house here. Yeah, let's do that one. And so you can put 2 families in this location. And so that should satisfy our need for housing for a little while. You do have to actually expand that as well. We don't have any unassigned families, so we can't even construct anything at the moment. Where could we take somebody? Once somebody has a shop, you can't take them without that closing down their shop, so that's something you gotta keep in mind. They'll likely have a shop soon too. Can add an herb garden here. Oh, we do have the available planks. Let's go ahead and extend the size of that so that we can have space for both of the livestock. But yeah, that'll allow them to grow herbs. They don't have their own shop here yet, probably because they haven't produced enough of it. I think that's what's going on there. Oh, it looks like somebody's constructing this. I don't know who's working on it. Maybe put the kids to work. But yeah, that means we also can't work on that. Okay, let me just take a look at the situation. Planks are pretty good for now. So we'll pull out of here just to get them working on that. The issue here is just that we haven't had anybody move to our settlement. New Roma is not very popular. I generally would have, it figures because of the Let's Play, I would generally already have like 2 extra families by this point. I don't know why nobody's moved here yet. Considering the fact we do have the extra house and we do have the approval much higher than 50%. So I'm not sure why they haven't moved in yet. It's kind of random though when you get them. Like you'll have like plenty of housing and good approval and people still won't come. It just kind of depends. So because of the random factor there, we are being hit by that. So there's the first bandit camp that has spawned. As I said, they will spawn on their own, and you can see it was within the first year here. And so that's right over here. And so these guys will start stealing our stuff. And there's no way to stop that besides destroying it, which is only a temporary measure. So we have those exposed goods still over there. We haven't constructed the storage stuff yet. Just trying to prioritize. Well, this is done now. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and now get, I guess we can leave it playing as long as we're at the lower speed here. So we want to go ahead and get the storehouse and the granary. I guess we can put that here. Yeah, because we're going to do the houses that way, but we don't need them anymore. Not at this moment anyways. And then we need the storehouse as well. What? I don't know where to put it. Maybe right here? Yeah, I got a little open spot here. Why not? Although I did want to put the trading stuff here, so you're close to the main road. So you know what? Let's put this here. Leave us space here to extend this road this way in the future if we want to. And just to make sure we can do that, I'll go ahead and just put that there. Just so we know that's an option later. Alright, so that one unassigned family will take care of all this stuff for us. And so this we can expand the living space once we need to. Did we finally get a new family? There we go. So we need to put somebody back into the saw pit. Because remember, the church is the thing we need next. And I believe we have everything for the church, but yeah. But the blanks. So prioritize getting that done. So we're now in autumn. So we got a few months left before winter. Winter does increase the amount of fuel use that your people will use. It's one of the main effects. Of course, there's all the effects on farming and any seasonal resources like the berry deposits here. Food is doing okay. We currently have 6 months worth of food, so enough to get through winter. But we got somebody collecting berries. It's a slow process because they got to move so far. And so that's one of the issues. But as we get more families, we'll need more food. But yeah, the berry collection for the next couple months should hopefully be enough for us to get through winter. And then over winter, we're going to be building up our farm and all that kind of stuff, which will probably be next episode. I don't see us fitting it into this one here. Yeah, I don't see us getting through, even through autumn. We'll have to see. We got our first new family, so that's great news. And we're taking care of storage now. And we can get the church as well. So let's go ahead and let this play again. And then go ahead and get the church started up. Although, we're probably going to do this a little bit differently now. I suppose we could do is build the road up here. Like so, and then just kind of have it go up along. I guess you can have like a little bit of a, yeah, it's fine to have a little alley there. And then the houses will go this way. So I can't get it to face that way. It just doesn't want to face over there. Like you see that it's trying, but it's just not working. I can make it face that way by putting it right here, but then that leaves a little bit extra space right there on the road that I don't like. So I might just have it facing this way. I mean, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I just cannot, like, it looks like it wants to. Yeah, and it is early access, guys. Yeah, it just will not let me face that way. Yeah. I mean, like, it seems like you almost got it, but whatever. We're just going to place it right here, guys. It's not a big deal. Alright, so with the church, once that's constructed, we'll satisfy all the needs in order to make our burgages level 2, which that's generally my goal, is to try and have the level 2 burgage before the end of the first year. As I said, we'll keep that unassigned family constructing that for us. And we'll be able to watch this go up. We got another family. Excellent. Alright, so that is actually all of our space, so we will want to go and expand the living space here now. So we'll see the house get slowly, or excuse me, the church get slowly built. Look at all the wood over there. And we have 2 families currently working on it in order to get it done sooner. Could also assign another family over to the berries here, just to try and get our berry collection up before winter time. And there's the resources that have been stolen. So unfortunately they stole our timber. Yeah, that's a bummer. And so that's why I wasn't really like keen on having those in the beginning of the game, because they steal your stuff and there's no way to really stop it. So we got a message here about the armament delivery. So we got equipment. So they gave us some large shields and spears, and so we want to go ahead and make use of that to construct our first units. And the first units that we can construct with that particular equipment is the Spear Militia. They're the only ones who use those two equipments, the spears and the large shields. Well, I don't know if they're the only ones that use the large shields. But the only ones out of these 4 militia choices that we have right now that use the large shields. We can construct other units later once we're able to get those resources, but that's all you got to do to set up your militia. Because you'll call those only in time of need. So when you are getting attacked by raiders, or you decide to go after these bandits, the brigands over there, and that's when you'll call them forth. And so they'll go pick up the equipment that they need. You can see they're already doing that. And so they'll get all the equipment. I believe they keep it in their house. They could also use helmets. But in order to get helmets, we have to get this development here. Basic armor making. And then construct the helmets. And it's not really an option just yet. And so if we want a larger military, we absolutely have to get these upgraded to the blacksmith, which you got to have a level 2. So we need the blacksmith and the joiners, so we can get the shields and the spears and sidearms. To start focusing on building up the military. Again, that was something I kind of neglected, and I just didn't have enough troops when the raiders came the first time I played. And while I won against them, I lost far too many dudes. Because, you know, that's your population that you're losing. So do we want to sign... we got several months left. We'll wait until this farm, excuse me, this church. I keep calling it everything but what it is. I've called it a house. I've called it a farm. It's a church. We want to get this church constructed here. Well, they're still getting all the materials over there. They got the timber, but they got to move everything by hand, so it takes time. We got to get those planks, got to get the stone. Got to get it all in place before they can actually start working on it. We do have a storehouse now, which we can upgrade. We don't need to. We have plenty of space as of right now. That's where those planks are currently being stored. And then we have a granary as well. Nothing stored there at the moment. But what's really useful about this is that... let's say with your forger hut, they can eventually create a stall here to sell food, to sell their berries. And then if you take the person out because there's no berries left to forage, then that also gets rid of their hut. But the granary can create a hut and sell anything that's in there. And so if the berries are in here, and they can also move the berries, then they can run the stall. And from that stall they can sell any type of food. And so it's pretty useful. And that would include if we wanted to, you know, remove somebody from the hunting camp. They can sell the meat and they can sell the berries. And so it can be useful to have somebody assigned to the granary. Now we are in November now, so I think we should assign another person to here. In fact, it looks like we did get another family. Okay, we're at max space, so if we want more people to come, then we need to get more houses. Okay, so we already know we're going to build the houses over this way. Again, I do apologize early on here if this is terrible. I don't know how other people's stuff looks as far as like their neighborhoods. This is far too much. I'm trying to like think deep into the future here. Obviously that's too deep into the future. Let's try this. How much wood do we even have? We got 9. Okay, so we're just short of being able to get that. So that's a little bit large. We could do it probably exactly the size of the church. And there you get 3 pretty large houses here. So yeah, we'll do that. So it fits right with the lot for the church. I was gonna call it something else there again. Alright, so that is all of our stone, guys. And so we will need to get somebody getting stone for us eventually. Trying to focus on berry collection now, to make sure we have plenty of food for the winter, because we don't have a lot of time left before we get to the winter. As of right now, we do have enough food, and so it's not too much of an issue. And then just keeping these unassigned ones for building, because I really want to get these done here. I was hoping to get to level 2 burgages in the first year. I don't know if that's going to be possible because it's taking so long to get the wooden church. And a big part of just everything that happened here was because of the movement of the supplies. They're moving the stone from all the way up here, guys. And that's what's taking so freaking long. And it was, that was the case with everything that we were building in this episode. This is one of the more longer distances I've moved. Like, as far as sheer distance, it wasn't that far. You know what I should have did? If I was smarter? I should have built a road that just connected with this, just temporarily. We could have deleted it. And they could have moved so much faster. Because I bet they're moving all down the road at the moment. Like, sticking on the road. Yeah, I should do that now. It's not too late. I mean, it is too late. We wasted a lot of time. But yeah. Let's do this and I can just get rid of it. I don't know why I didn't do that, guys. Should have. And so that way they can easily get over here. In fact, you know what? This doesn't even have, again, this doesn't have to be permanent. We can delete this. I won't even connect it, just so I know I need to delete it. They can use this road. I don't know if they'll do that, though. Yeah, you might need to connect it. You can just go all the way up there. God, I don't know why I didn't do that. Could have sped this whole process up. But let's do it the hard way. Gives ourselves a bit more of a challenge. And so that should speed it up a little bit. Because they'll move right down the road and straight to these areas here. Again, they only need it for the church. So once you get all the stone moved to the church, which is all the stone that's available here. So there's only 3 left. And so once that's done, we can delete the road. We'll get rid of that. We do have pretty high approval at 65%. That's not bad for the current stage rent. And it looks like we have gotten a good amount of berries collected before the winter. Because we just don't have a lot of meat currently. They're just not moving fast enough here. How are the herds looking? Okay, that's what the issue is. So we're actually going to reduce the hunting limit so that they can keep hunting. Just hunt them down to 5. Just for now. And so that means that this is going to deplete. It's shrinking. I think we should probably just go ahead and take them out of it now. Just give up on any more berries. And we won't have any more meat either. And so we have to survive off the berries and meat that we currently have collected. That's what we got, guys. Kind of wish we had, instead of gotten the berries, that we had just gotten the bees. I think that would have been useful. We do have the church now, and so we should be able to upgrade once we have... Yeah, we just don't have the timber. We're using it all in the construction here. So that's unfortunate, because that's the one thing that's limiting us from getting these level 2s before the end of the year. My goal, guys. We'll see. Maybe I can use... We have a lot of spare population, so why don't we do that? Oh, we don't have anybody building. Oh, my bad, guys. I forgot I took them out of that. Okay, so that's what the issue is. And then we'll also want to change their work area as well. Take care of all the wood here. And then maybe have these guys here. I don't know if there's much space left over here, much trees, I mean, but they can take care of whatever's left, these couple of trees here. Since, yeah, we want to make sure we're getting a lot of wood here with the logging camp. And so that's what the problem was. I didn't realize I didn't have anybody assigned there. Little things like that you miss. Cause you some issues. Or this here. This road. We can get rid of it now. I know it's not the it's not a necessary road. And so yeah, we want to delete all of this here. There we go. Beautiful. So we'll get rid of that road, and you can see that the first snows are falling. Now we do have enough fuel and food to get through the winter, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And it looks like we almost have these constructed. We got 2 of them done, and so that'll allow more people to move in. And now we just need to get timber so that we can upgrade these houses, these burgages, to level 2. And so I'd like to show that as the final thing that we're doing in episode 1. And I guess you can also see the winter. And I never did show the walking around town either. So to do that, you just click on this, visit mode. It notified you, it's expect glitches. Can run by holding shift. And yeah, you can see your people working. It's just a really cool feature. Even though there's not really anything you do here, it's just looking at things. But it lets you get close in on the town and really see what's going on. See your people working their stalls. And of course you don't look anything like you do in that image in your portrait, as I said before. Yeah, you're the noble. And perhaps you're not a noble, maybe you're gentry. Although this is already a pretty big settlement for gentry. Yeah, you could just be gentry. I mean, it can be a pretty big settlement. See them picking up the planks. Moving to their locations there. Here's the houses, which we'll have a bit more once we start building the back of these. See your people out there working, cutting down trees. There's the ox going. Oh, he likes me. There's those guys hunting and hauling in the deer carcass. And so it just really lets you see the attention to detail that the one developer did. It's amazing. And then you can kind of, go into the actual locations and see all the resources. No footprints in the snow yet, but I can almost guarantee that's something they'll add. Got an outhouse here. But yeah, I feel confident just given the attention to detail in the game that footprints in the snow is something you'll probably see. So here's that road to be constructed. Still a couple trees to be taken out over here. And here's the new houses that we constructed. And there's our church. That's it. Not a lot to see currently. It's a pretty small settlement that we got going. But yeah, I like that feature. But let's go ahead and upgrade these a little too. Everyone that we can, which we might not have the timber to do very many, but we can get 2 of them upgraded. And so that does require construction. And so that one assigned population there, family. I don't want to call them population because I play too much of the Paradox games. I guess Millennia also calls it population, but families. That's what they're called in this game. But yeah, the one family will come over here and get these constructed. Change it up to level 2. And as we get more timber, which we should be getting at a faster rate, though I feel like we don't quite need all these guys. Let's bring some over here so they can actually start working on this with the 2 families. Now you can assign somebody to the church. They will bury dead bodies on consecrated ground. There's an option for the corpse pit where they don't deserve consecrated ground. So the raider corpses, because bodies just stay there when they're dead. So somebody's got to bury them. And so we'll see that become a factor once we have our first raid, which will be 2 years from now. So yeah, I want to go ahead and get through the first year. As we got these 2 people working on improving these up to level 2. And that will allow us to then change them up. These guys can actually be upgraded. Yeah, we want to upgrade any ones that can be. So as soon as we get the available timber, we'll upgrade them. So what we're going to want to do with these is probably turn them into a blacksmith and the joiner. And then we can spend our development points, which we want to get the fertilization. Alright guys, so we did pretty much everything I wanted to in the first episode with a couple exceptions. I didn't get everything done. There's a few things that I wanted to do. So we didn't get the manor constructed. It is Manor Lords. We don't have the manor yet. I needed to have a good location though. And so this is the manor, and we also don't have the stone yet. Took me longer to get the population up here than I was expecting. No, we can go ahead and just only have 1 person assigned here. Make sure somebody's working on construction. But yeah, we wouldn't have had anybody available to do that. Because yeah, we need that for the manor. And that's pretty much it. We've got the planks. We'll eventually get the timber. And so this is important so you can start getting taxes. And it also gives you some troops as well. And so yeah, that would be something we want to do maybe in the next episode. You also need to know where you want to build it, because it's got some cool mechanics to it, where you can build like a wall and towers, all kinds of cool stuff. You don't have to build all that immediately, but you at least want to know where you want it to be permanently. I suppose you could put it like right here in the middle somewhere. Got that stone deposit. Could get rid of the forager hut, I suppose. Alright, so we do have the joiner shops done. And so let's get the large shields, because we still need shields in order to get the full size for that spear unit. Of course, we don't have the male members yet. The male villagers. In order to get the full size army, we need more families to move here. But eventually we'll need both more large shields and more spears. But our approval is pretty good right now due to the church level, the clothing market supply, and the market food variety. So pretty good situation. And we're gonna go and pause it here, so we won't get quite through the first year. Hope you guys did enjoy this first episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. If you're looking for anything to watch while you wait for episode 2, check out the front page of our channel. You'll find thousands of videos, all sorted by genre. Do play a wide variety of different games. Don't play a lot of the city building or management games on PC. I generally do those on console with my wife and co-host. When I play by myself, I'm usually focused on grand strategy and 4X games. We also play a wide variety of other genres on console. So RPGs, we do play strategy games, play a lot of simulator type games, survival games. So you should be able to find something that you'd enjoy watching. I'm gonna walk around our town as we do our outro here. See all our villagers up close. If you're looking for any links, check out the description of any of our videos. You'll find links to our PayPal, Patreon, and Teespring store if you'd like to help support the channel. You can also become a member here on YouTube. You'll find links to our Discord if you'd like to join our community. And finally, you'll find links to all of our social media if you'd like to follow us on those. So I do hope to see you guys on episode 2, and thanks for watching.